Dr. R. Sugaraj Samuel. He is working as a professor in physics at New College, Chennai. He is also training students for IIT JEE, AIEEE and BIT SAT. He has more than 16 years experience in both teaching and research. He has published a book titled The Complete Handbook of Bachelor of Electronic Science Practicals, which is prescribed for the syllabus for BSc Electronic Science by University of Madras. He has presented papers in several national and international conferences and has also conducted many training programs and workshops to motivate energetic students. His research areas are ultrasonic, polymers, crystal growth and photovoltaic systems. He is experienced in both regular classroom teaching and online teaching as well.
Welcome to UGC lecture series in BSc Honours in Physics. We have been discussing about the concepts related to the topic electricity and magnetism. In that, we are discussing about the concepts of electrostatics. In this lecture, we are going to learn about the potential related to the charges and charged bodies. Before we start this lecture, shall we have a look at the outline of today's lecture? In this lecture, we are going to learn about the electric potential difference, electric potential, relation between electric field and potential, conservative nature of electrostatic field, electric potential due to a positive charge, the additive nature of potential, electric potential energy and finally, potential energy due to system of charges. So, all the concepts are related to the electrostatic potential. We will start our lecture with a definition for the potential difference existing between two points in electric field. Shall we see the definition for the potential difference between two points in an electric field? The potential difference between 2 points in an electric field is defined as the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge, which is also called as a test charge Q naught, from one point to the other point against the electric force. The electric potential difference is related to now the work done per unit charge in moving a charge from one point to another point. We have got a mathematical expression also for that. The potential difference is denoted as delta V. The 2 points taken are the point A and B. I will show you a visual in which you will understand where the 2 points are taken, but have a look at this expression. Is this difference in potential between the 2 points A and B is written as the work done in moving the charge from the point A to B per the unit charge. When we say the work done in moving it from A to B, we need to have certain points clear in mind. We have to move the charge in an electric field. If there is no electric field existing at a point, then we need not have to do any work in moving a charge in a field free space. But in a electric field, we have to do a work. Sometimes we may have to do a positive work, sometimes we may have to do a negative work depending on the direction of the electric field and the direction in which we move the point charge. So, for that typically a diagram is needed. See, this is the region in which the electric field is existing. Now, have a look at the diagram alone, do not look at the expressions shown here. Just for the explanation sake, I would like to take up this diagram. The electric field is not even in one particular direction, it is having a curved nature, right. And this is the point charge which is moved from the point A to B. We move it along, again not a straight line, but a curved line, and we may have to do some work because this field will try to carry the point charge along it. So, we may have to do a work against the electric field to bring it to the point B. Now, we will go back to our mathematical explanation. When we do a work for a unit charge, then that itself is called an electrical quantity, potential. Between 2 points it is called potential difference. Then what is called potential? Potential is a unique quantity. For a particular point we have electrostatic potential. You should not get confused with the term potential energy. It is not potential energy, it is simply potential alone. So, what is the expression for the potential alone? In that case, we have to slightly modify the definition that we have given for the potential difference. Shall we have a look at that? The electric potential in an electric field at a point is defined as the amount of work done in moving a unit positive charge from infinity to that point against the electric force. Here I would like to highlight the term infinity. What does that mean? Is it the distance, infinite distance we say, no? Does it mean the distance related, or does it have any other meaning here? It has got slightly a different meaning as far as this context is concerned. When we say from infinity, when we bring a test charge, then the work done per unit charge in bringing it is called potential of that point. Why we say the term infinity? If we consider a point charge, the point charge produces electric field which is coming out from it. As we move away and away and away from the point charge, the electric field becomes lesser and lesser and lesser in magnitude. Agreed, because it is 1 divided by r square relation. Hope you bring the expression for electric field due to a point charge to our mind. In that case, at infinite distance, this point charge would not have any effect. So, the electric field is 0. Keeping that in mind, we say infinity. But other words, the infinity here means where the influence is not there, where there is no electric field. Now, the term is written as the field V. Instead of delta V, we have the V here, and what happened to the V A? The A has become 0 because at that point there is no potential, because there is no field, and we move it from infinity to that point B. So, slightly altered definition we have. So, in that case the potential V itself is the work done in bringing it from infinite distance to the particular point for a unit positive charge. So, what is the unit for the potential? The numerator we have work done, which is equivalent of energy. So, we write joule, and in the denominator we have the charge. So, coulomb, it is joule per coulomb, which is in turn called as a new unit volt. What is 1 volt? If we do 1 joule of work in bringing 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to that point, then it is called 1 volt. Now, we have got a clear point in mind, that is, wherever there is electric field existing, there is a potential accompanying that. What is the relation between the potential and the electric field? Shall we develop a relation between the electric field E and the potential V? We will go back to the expression that is relating the electric field and potential. Have a look at this visual. We have the definition for the difference in potential, that is the potential difference expression, which is a very familiar expression for us now, because we have defined a potential difference earlier. If you rewrite this equation for the work done, we write a equation for work done from mechanics like this. The work done in bringing a body from A to B is integral f dot dl. This is from mechanics, and in this expression we can replace this f. What is the force? The electrostatic force that is acting on the body, it is Q naught multiplied with E. Now, you may ask a question, why there is a minus sign written? This minus sign is because the force that we apply and the electric field that is existing, they both are opposite to each other. Have a look at this. Here what is happening? We move it from A to B like this, and when we move it at this point, this is the direction in which the force is existing, right, and the electric field is existing in the opposite direction. So, if we want to relate this force and this electric field, we have to put a minus sign because these are vectors, F and E are vectors. So, we have to put, they are opposite in direction, we put a minus sign, and still we have kept the vector as such. And the way in which the point charge is moved is very important for us. How it is moved? It is moved quasi statically. What does that mean? We cannot simply move it with an acceleration. The quasi static means without accelerating the point charge, we are moving the point charge. How it is possible? Because whenever a body is moving, if there is a change in velocity, then there is a acceleration accompanying it. In that case, the change in velocity will result in change in kinetic energy, but we do not want such a change in kinetic energy to happen. So, we are moving it quasi statically, it is a theoretical consideration. So, we move it and bring it to rest, move it and bring it to rest, move it and bring it to rest. So, every time we arrest the movement and it is brought to the point B from A. So, such a quasi static movement is happening. So, the work that we do is not converted into kinetic energy, because it is totally converted into potential energy. So, for that we say the term quasi statically it is moved, right. When it is moved like that, we move it against the electric field. Now, we will go back to the expression. When we write it for the potential that is shown here, the work done per unit charge, which is the potential difference, for that we have the term minus E dot dl. This Q naught is taken to the denominator, that is how we get this expression. So, when we once again take the point A to infinity, this potential V A will become 0, the point A has become infinity. So, this is the final expression we have. If we have this expression in which there is only one potential existing, V B alone, then why should we have the suffix? It can be replaced by just V itself, and it is understood moved from infinity to that point. So, the expression is a final simple expression which relates the electric field E and the potential V. This is how the relation is developed. The electrostatic potential V is related to the electric field E using this relation. V is equal to minus integral E dot dl. Here E and dl are vector quantities. If you want to write this expression in a differential form, because this expression, the earlier one is in integral form. If you want to write it in the differential form, then we have to keep this E here and take the dl to the other side, because integral and differential are complementary to each other. So, we get an expression for electric field as minus dV divided by dr, because this is a scalar quantity, we have to have a position vector r cap here. So, we have developed a relation that relates the potential and electric field. We call this as the relation between E and V. With this, can we do something? We can take up a special case, how to find out the electric field, how to find out the electric potential due to a point charge. Now, we have got an expression that is relating the potential and electric field. So, let us use this expression itself for finding the potential near a positive point charge. Shall we go ahead with the discussion? Electric field due to a positive charge. Here we have a positive charge, the electric field is coming out from it in all direction. We are interested in finding what is the potential at this point. So, we consider as if we are moving it from the point A to B, but where is this A? The A is at infinity, that we have to keep in mind. I would like to mention it, because we are finding not the potential difference, the potential, it is at infinity. Just for the sake we have marked this as A. Initially we will keep as if we are moving it from A to B, but this A will be later on considered as if it is in infinity, right. So, we start with the expression for the potential difference between the 2 points A and B, and this is the relation we are using, and at this point the dot product is written as a scalar product E and dl here, right. What is the angle between this E and dl? E is in this direction, dl is in the opposite direction. So, it is cos 180 or cos pi. Cos 180 is minus 1. So, this minus sign goes, it is integral E dl we have. Now, what is dl? dl is the distance measured from infinity to that point, because the A is somewhere here, we moved from infinity to that point. Is it possible to measure the distance from infinity? Very difficult. What is the reference point for us? The point charge is the reference. So, it is better to make the measurement from the point charge. So, we have to transform this dl with a measurable quantity dr. In that case, how do we manipulate the expression? See, as this dl increases from infinity to that point, when we move, the dl will keep increasing, because the r is measured from the point charge to this point, the r will keep decreasing. One is an increasing quantity, the other one is a decreasing quantity. So, we put a minus sign. This is not due to the direction, because dl and dr are scalars only. So, this minus sign says as dl increases, dr will decrease, they are differential quantities. So, we put a minus sign. So, once again the minus sign appears in the expression for the potential difference when we replace the dl with dr, and finally we substitute for the electric field due to a point charge at this point. So, we write 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided by r square for the electric field. After that, we have to carry out the integration. There are some terms constant, we have to take them out and then go ahead with the integration. This is how the integration is done. Q, 4 pi epsilon naught, they are all constants. So, we have done this integration, integral dr by r square. This is the integration value for that, apply the limits, simplify further. So, this is the expression we have for the potential difference. But what is our aim? We want to find out the potential due to the point charge. So, as I said earlier, we have to take the point A to infinity. What is the impact of that consideration on the expression? When we take the R A, the distance from the point charge to the A point as infinity, the potential due to at that point will be 0. So, when we substitute them here, we finally end up getting this expression for the point B, potential at the point B. Only one point B we are considering. So, drop these suffixes. So, we have the potential due to a point charge as this expression. Using the relation relating the potential and the electric field, we have got an expression for potential due to a positive point charge. If we do it for a negative charge, potential near a negative charge, what expression we will have? See, the reference point charge that we bring from infinity to that point should always be a positive charge. So, in that case, the negative charge will attract it. So, we will have to do a negative work, okay, because we should not allow it to accelerate. So, we have to apply the force in the opposite direction, we have to restrict the movement. So, the work done is a negative work done. So, accordingly the potential will become negative, the minus sign will exist in the final expression. What is the conclusion? The potential due to a positive charge is positive, the potential due to a negative charge is negative. So, without doing much mathematical expressions, we can give this explanation and say potential near a negative charge is negative, potential near a positive charge is positive, either way we can say. Now, before we move on to the other related concepts, we will reiterate what is the potential, what are the characteristics of electrostatic potential. So, let us see what are the characteristics of electric potential. Electrostatic potential is a scalar quantity because it is the energy or the work done per unit charge. Energy is scalar, so potential is also a scalar quantity. The potential due to a positive charge is positive. As I said, it is due to the work done consideration. The potential near a negative charge is negative. If potential is due to several point charges, then the total potential is the algebraic sum of the individual potentials. Why the word algebraic is used? Some of the potentials might be positive and some of the potentials might be negative. So, with the sign we have to consider the sum, that is why it is called algebraic sum. Arithmetic sum means all will be positive, but it is not arithmetic sum, it is the algebraic sum. Plus minus should be considered properly when we take the sum. And the last point is, if the potential is due to distributed charges, maybe we are not able to discretely take the charges, if it is distributed throughout, we have to depend on the integral. Instead of the addition, we have to go for the infinitesimal addition, that is called the integration. So, these are the characteristics of the potential, and at this point one important aspect we have to keep in mind. The potential is a scalar, so simple addition is enough, addition or subtractions only will come. We need not consider the direction because it is a scalar. So, the calculations and all that will become simpler comparing to the calculations related to electric field and force. Now, we will see one important concept, the work done and the potential all have been mentioned and electric field all have been mentioned. What about the nature of the electric field? We say two types of fields exist, conservative field and non-conservative field, and force also conservative force and non-conservative force. How do we classify them? There is one beautiful classification done here to understand that the electric field is a conservative field. Conservative nature of electric field. A force is said to be conservative if work done by the force in moving a particle from one point to another point depends only on initial and final points and not on the path followed. The field where the conservative force is felt is called conservative field. Thus, electric field is a conservative field. So, this is the explanation we have given for conservative nature of electrostatic field. If you have a look at the diagram, you will understand how it is conservative. When we moved the point charge from A to B, a curved path we have taken, but when we do the integration and all that, the curved nature is not taken into account. It is just the straight line path, it is path independent. This only comes into the picture when we do the derivation. This is one type of explanation we give for conservative nature of the field. The other explanation is based on the energy. Whenever there is energy stored when work is done in the field, then also it is called the conservative field. Take for the case of gravitational field. The gravitational field exists downwards, right. When we lift a body, a mass in the gravitational field, it is stored as potential energy there. So, we conclude the gravitational field is a conservative field. Similarly, when there is a spring that is expanded, that work done is stored as energy. The moment we release, it is coming back, it is converted into kinetic energy, and then such a storing of energy is possible when we do work in a field. So, that is also a conservative force. In that case, the spring exerts a conservative force because it is changed from kinetic to potential, but some of the fields are non-conservative. Whatever work that we do, it is not stored as potential energy, we cannot retrieve it from it after it is done, the work is done. So, this is also one sort of explanation to prove that electrostatic field is a conservative field. We have got the expression for potential due to a point charge. If we have collection of point charges, how do we calculate the potential? So, we will take up a special case to find out the potential due to system of charges. This is how we have to do that. We have got 3 charges here, right. Q1 we can take this as positive for the problem, and Q2 let us take it as negative, and Q3 as positive. The P is the point we consider what is the net potential due to the 3 charges Q1, Q2 and Q3. At the point P, the potential due to the first charge is taken as V1, which is 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 divided by R1, and due to the negative charge it is V2 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 divided by R2, and you have to be careful here, Q2 is a negative charge. So, put a minus sign for that, and V3 due to the third charge, once again it is 4 pi epsilon naught Q3 divided by R3. These we can put in bracket. So, what about the total field, the net field? V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. I have put a plus sign here for V2 also, because I have considered the minus sign in the expression. So, when we do that, we can take the 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught as constant. What do we have inside? It is Q1 divided by R1, Q2 with a minus sign divided by R2 plus Q3 divided by R3. So, this summation will give us the expression for the total potential. It is just the algebraic addition with plus and minus considered. So, we know how to find out the potential due to system of charges. Because the work done is given as the basic definition for the potential, there is also energy stored in a system of charge arrangements, right. In that case also we have to consider them individually, individual pairs we have to consider and do the calculation, but I would like to reserve that for the upcoming lectures. I hope with this I can conclude this lecture and see the summary of today's lecture. In this lecture we have seen the concepts of electric potential difference, electric potential, relation between electric field and electric potential, conservative nature of electrostatic field, electric potential due to a positive charge, and finally, the additive nature of potential as far as a system of charge arrangements is concerned. Before we wind up this lecture, let us test our understanding by answering these simple questions. Define electric potential. Give the relation between the electric field E and the electric potential V. Derive the expression for electric potential due to a point charge. Discuss the conservative nature of electric field. With this, I would like to wind up today's lecture and see you in other lectures with the further concepts related in electrostatics. Thank you for watching this program.